Hello, I'm Jonathan Colvin. I'm the Federal Programs and Instruction Supervisor for Jackson County Schools. This video today is intended to help you, as parents, be able to better understand what's coming home on your child's progress report, specifically in grades 4 through 8. You'll see some of this in grades K through 3. That's kind of dependent on the school site. And you may see a little of this in the high school, but all this is coming to everyone by the end of as we get into next year. This will definitely be everywhere. But I just want to go through kind of what you're going to be looking at and what you're going to see. So first of all, what I've got here, and I'm using sixth grade math for this example. But this is sixth grade math, student learning scale number 1, and these are the scales that are going to determine what your child's grade is in a class. You should be seeing these in your child's work. These are going to be posted on our district website for you to see as well. But so right here, the goal, the main target we want everyone to achieve is level 3. Level 3 is going to be a 90. That's what it would relate to on a 0 to 100 scale. Level 2 will relate to a 70. Level 4 up here will relate to a 100. But basically, these are the things your child has to be able to do to earn that grade. So on sixth grade math, scale number 1, to earn a level 2, they need to be able to use appropriate notations like A to B, AB, or A divided by B to show ratios. They need to represent ratio relationships using unit rates, and they need to be able to describe ratio relationships by using unit rates. The difficulty of that will get harder the higher up the scale you go, but our ultimate goal is to make sure that our students are learning this at a deeper level and have a better understanding of what's expected of them on these grade levels. The thing you're gonna see, this is a very clear roadmap of the things that have to happen to achieve a certain grade. There's no gray area on it really. These are the things you have to do. Now we do allow half points. So if a student can do everything in level 2, and let's say one topic in level 3, then that student is going to land here at 2.5. Now, with progress reports coming out right now, we're 4.5 weeks in. There are going to be a lot of situations where students are in the middle of a scale. So a teacher may have only taught through this much. So a student's not going to be able to score a 90 or a 100 yet if they've not covered, I can use ratios and unit rates to solve real world problems, or I can represent ratios and rates using tape diagrams, double number lines, or equations. If they've not gone through that yet, what you should get, in addition to the printout that will have a number on it potentially, is this. And if they've not gone through a topic yet, they can't give credit for something they've not gone through yet. That's not saying your child's missing anything or anything like that. We're just saying that they've not gotten to those steps on the scale at this point. Now, as we get to what the report card will look like, this is one that would be a sample for the entire year. We're pulling from a sixth grade class at Stevenson Middle School. This is just strictly a sample. We had to put something in a student's account and just see what that looks like. This is not reflective of actual grades of a student or anything like that. But for scale 1, solving ratios and rate problems, what will happen is you'll look under Q1 for this first progress report. And under Q1, if this student is at a 2, then that'll show here, and then that's a 70. So for the first quarter here, they've gone through 3 scales. On scale 1, the student scored a 2, which was a 70. On scale 2, the student scored 1.5, which would be a 60. And on scale 3, evaluate expression, the student scored 3, which is a 90. Now, we put two averages up here. The gray one that's by jcs.mth.6, that's the average of the proficiency scales. So 2, 1.5, and 3 averages to 2.17. But once those are converted, and you can see that grading key up here at the top, once those are converted and averaged, that would be the traditional grade for the class. We're putting both of these on here because we want you to have a reference point from what you're used to seeing versus what you're seeing now. These grade out columns in Q1 would be topics that the teacher has not completed teaching through at this point. That does not mean, but they're on there so you know what's coming in the future. We're leaving all that on there so you know these are the 9 topics that are going to be covered in 6th grade math through the course of the year. So as you can see, though, this student, and here's what will happen over time. The student, on just looking at scale 1, by Q2, that student had improved that score from a 2 to a 3. Well, the score just changes at that point. We're not averaging in the 2 with that anymore. That student just has a 3 at this point for that topic. Now, there's other topics that are newer that the student struggles with, but as you can see over time, that student was able to raise those grades. Q4 is what's going to ultimately matter as for what the final grade is for the student in the course. In Q4, when you see that, that's the ultimate goal. So the student on scale 1 in May, for example, would have a 3. They'd have a 3 on scale 2, a 3 on scale 3, a 3 on scale 4, 2.5 on 5, etc. This 86 at the end, that's the grade the students got. They're not being penalized at all for the fact that either they haven't gone through the material yet or haven't learned it completely at the start of the year. On scale 1 and 2, they had fairly low scores in Q1. Those were raised up to 3, being proficient at the end. The biggest change on this is that things aren't averaged in from the beginning of the year. We're just showing you where they're at. The student has the opportunity throughout the year to level up, and as they level up, that grade changes, so it gives a lot of motivation for the student, and the scale gives the ultimate roadmap for it. I hope this explanation helps. If you've got questions, please feel free to reach out to me at calvinj@jacksonk12.org, or you can call me at my office at 256-259-9500, or you can speak to your school's principal or your teacher with those questions as well. Thank you and have a good day.